have the desire to be more? Then More Apparel is the apparel company for you. We believe that more comfort, more quality, and more passion will inspire you to do more for yourself, for your family, and most importantly, your community. Visit our website at www.morapparelus.com to get active today. And remember, it's MOR. Leave off the E for excuses.
Welcome to the Blast Podcast, created and hosted by your friendly neighborhood media personality, me, DSP. I am the voice of Rockland County, New York's art culture, and this platform is the epicenter of said culture. I sit down with many artists, producers, entrepreneurs, among other creatives, and get them to open up to our listeners so they get to know them better. If I'm not doing that, I'm covering current events and reacting to them. Once again, welcome to your new favorite podcast, the Blast Podcast.
Last Life Gaming Network is an over-the-top platform catering to the gamer, with hours of content at your disposal upon launch date. The LLGN will provide you with top-notch entertainment in the gaming world, with original shows such as Collections, Co-op Interview, and GUI Gaming Under the Influence, as well as highlights of Twitch and Mixer live streams. The network will have you chomping at the bits for content. Add on a live stream schedule and streams that will be interactive. There will be countless reasons for you, the viewer, to be invested in. Yes. Welcome to another installment. Well, I guess this will be like the very first installment of Never Tuck Your Town TV, coming to you live on YouTube, straight to YouTube. Of course, it is me, Brother DSP, your friendly neighborhood media personality, and I'm hosting this lovely show, Never Tuck Your Town TV. Let me see if I can get this graphic out the way. I want to say a huge congratulations to our champions, man. Our champions. Give me a second. Let's get the champs up here. Huge shout out to Paisano's Pizza, man. These guys came out and played team basketball. I don't even want to just say from the first round on. I want to say from, I guess, after their second loss. After their second loss, I can say that they must have regrouped. This is just me speculating here. They must have regrouped. Shout out to MR Apparel. They must have regrouped and told themselves, yo, we're going to play a particular brand of basketball, and this brand of basketball is going to take us to the dub. And hey, let me tell you this straight up. They won 10 games straight. 6 games regular season, 4 in the playoffs. They played every single round of basketball in the playoffs. No bye for them, nothing. They played from the first round, played the second round, played in the Finals Four, played at the championship game, and won. So huge huge shout out to Paisanos Pizza, man. I just had to get those guys their flowers because they did their thing, man. I mean, they played high level basketball. Huge shout out to Delhi. Huge shout out to the Money Train, aka the Money Connection. That's G Money and Major Money. I mean, those guys, they played spectacular basketball. Um, and I had to give them credit. I had to give them kudos from the gate. But before we get into giving them all the credits and all that, let me get some plugs in if you guys don't mind. Please be sure to follow all. Am I pointing? Yeah, follow all those tags down there. Please be sure to follow all those tags down there on Instagram. That's VOH Basketball. That's Never Tuck Your Town TV. That's Last Life Gaming. That's the Blast Podcast. That's MOR Apparel. You know what I mean? So follow all those pages. You will be kept up to date, man. Facts, Z. Facts. We knew about Major Money. We knew what type of game he's got. You know what I mean? It was G Money that surprised a lot of us. I can't say I was surprised. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging here, but the very first game, I believe I seen him, and I think it was against Team Insatiable. I think he was there against Team Insatiable, and they had lost. But I had given him his props. I was like, yo, he's really, really good. Who is this kid? And I guess a few people were tapped in, and they were like, yo, his name is Grant Singleton, and he plays at Stack, giving me his whole resume. So I was like, oh, okay. And then when it came to the playoffs, as you will see later, he went off. So huge shout out to G Money. Shout out to Major Money. Like I said, shout out to Paisanos Pizza. But now, hold on. Let me see if I can get it up for y'all. It might be a little too small. Hopefully it's not. No, let me get these two things up first. First, I'm going to get you the Blast Podcast rankings at the end of the season, right? These were the top 8 teams, and these were their rankings going into the playoffs. 9 through 12 was announced in the Bracketology show. If you want to check that out, go ahead. If you're brand new to this, go ahead, check that Bracketology show out. It happened right before the playoffs, and it happened right before All-Star Weekend. And these were the top 8 teams, right? High Optic undefeated, the Family 7-1, 48 Till 7-1, Palisades Elite 7-1, Paisanos Pizza 6-2, SUNYAC Select 6-2, Roadrunners 5-3, Not on Duty 4-4. Okay, so those were the top 8 teams. But now, let me show you what it looks like at the end of the season. Now, you see where Paisanos Pizza is, right? They were 6-2, number 5. Check this beautiful jump out. Number 1, 10-2, champions. The Family, number 2, 9-2. High Optic drops to number 3, 9-1. 48 Till, 8-2. Palisades Elite 7-2. SUNYAC Select 7-3. Roadrunners 6-4. Not on Duty 5-5. So that's how the Blast Podcast rankings changed up after the playoffs. And let me see if I can get y'all that bracket, man. Shout out to everybody that's here, watching, paying attention. Truly appreciate y'all. Please be sure to hit the like button. If you're brand new, subscribe to the channel and turn on the post notifications. And please be sure to follow all those people at the bottom right there on Instagram. And this is the bracket right here. As I was saying before, Paisanos Pizza, very first round, they played Chocolate Factory. Then they played the Palisades Elite in the second round. And then in the third round, the Finest Four, they played High Optic. And in the championship game, they played the Family. So they played all 4 rounds and did not lose. So let's get into the recaps, man. Let's get into the recaps of the playoffs. This is going to be a while. I hope you guys got some time. Appreciate y'all. Oh, shout out to whoever sent the like on Facebook. Let me see if I can get that. Izar Jones, appreciate you. I believe you gave a fire emoji on the chat too. So huge shout out to you. Appreciate you. I could be forgetting about Facebook and Twitter. Shout out to everyone that's watching. Truly appreciate y'all. If you're catching a replay, thank you. This is the first installment of many to come. Huge shout out to Brett Bronson, the commissioner of VOH Basketball, and of course, shout out to Z of MOR Apparel. You see the the digs, MOR Apparel, do more. You know what I mean? This VOH League, you can't really see it, but you see the logo behind me. You know what it is. But round one, this game was a good game, very intense, very physical. Not on duty versus the bullies. Not on duty was victorious. I believe not on duty actually lost the polls. I think the bullies were voted to win this game. And not on duty pulled it off, proved the people wrong. 6-point joint, 63-57. Not on duty's standouts were Romeo Chase, who had a good season, man. Hopefully he comes back next summer. He had a great season. He had 21 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. B. So of not on duty was another standout who had a great game. I believe he had a crazy block that game. I could be wrong. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Mike on ice, always balling. You could always expect a good game from him. 13 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. And for the bullies, the standouts for the bullies, Wild Style Kyle. Anytime he pulls up for the bullies, you can always expect a great game from him. He had 19 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals. And Nanuet Nightmare, he's always a standout too. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. So man, it was a great game on the global side. Not on duty versus the bullies. Huge shout out to Tibby. He put this team together, and they made it to the playoffs. Their very first year, they made it to the playoffs, and I believe they made it to the second round. This was their first round victory against the bullies, and then their second round game was against High Optic. So huge shout out to Tibby. He told me himself. Shout out to Tibby for real. He told me himself that next year we coming back and we're gonna be better. So I mean, better from what you did this year is Finest Four or championship. So I'm looking forward to see what Not on Duty does next year. So we'll be back to discuss Not on Duty in their second round game. Another great first round game was SUNYAC Select versus Team Insatiable. This game I was looking forward to because shout out to Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf was like, yo, I can't wait to get some of this South smoke. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. He said he can't wait to get some of this North smoke because his team represented the Southern Conference. And SUNYAC Select, a battle-tested team from the Northern Conference, got Team Insatiable the first round. And Team Insatiable took the loss. They lost by 19, although they were missing some key pieces. They were missing guys like Go, Jojo Go, and Howie Wowie, 2 pieces that I feel if they were there, it could have been a totally different game. I'm not saying that they would have won, but I think it would have been a lot closer. The score was 74-55. SUNYAC Select was victorious. The standouts for SUNYAC were Mambo number 5, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Drago, who was hitting shots left and right, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. And Grants like Horace, man, what a presence in the paint. Grants like Horace, if he gets the touches he needs, he can be a nuisance to any team who doesn't have a legit big man. 10 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. The standouts for Team Insatiable, both of them, number 1, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. And, of course, my guy Teen Wolf of Team Insatiable, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. That was it for Team Insatiable. 1 round, and they were done. I believe they were also a first-year team who made it to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Granted, they had to kick and claw their way in, but they made it. And they ran into a team that was pretty serious in SUNYAC Select, who was also a first-year team who did their thing, man. They made it to the second round. So I'm not sure if they're going to show up next year. I did see I Told You pull up to the championship game. So hopefully he took in the atmosphere and was like, hey, I want to come back to this next year. You know what I mean? Hopefully he gets more guys and they reload and regroup and figure out what they got to do to compete. I mean, they did compete this year, but I mean, compete all the way to the end. So huge shout out to SUNYAC Select and Team Insatiable. Also, another game that, wow, I was looking forward to, Roadrunners versus Live Free, Die Trying. Roadrunners, shout out, first and foremost, huge shout out to Day Day. I can't speak on it enough on what he's doing for the youth in Nyack. He brought in 2 teams. Huge shout out to Tibby, who brought in a 3rd team representing some of Nyack's talent, not on duty. And one of Day Day's teams made the playoffs, man. A very young team made the playoffs. Live Free, Die Trying. Shout out to Put It On My Tab, 3 Letters, Mo Bamba, Longhorn, VOH, Young Boy. Great roster. Can't wait to see what they do. And they played the Roadrunners, an experienced team of alumni from Ramapo College. So, of course, the score was 101-67. Experience beat out the youth. But here is a stat that is probably going to blow your mind when I tell you this. The Roadrunners hit 20 3-pointers. 20 3-pointers. That's 60 points alone from the 3-point line. You can't let a team score that many points from beyond. That was 60 points from beyond the arc. Granted, the Roadrunners scored 101. 41 of their points was perimeter shots or free throws or layups. 60 points came from beyond the arc. So that's crazy. That's a crazy stat. I'm sure that stat blew Day Day's mind when he saw the scorecard. So, because when I saw it, it messed me up. Huge shout out to Russ Skilson. He had 29 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. He's always going to give you a good game. Slim Cooks, 26 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. And Patty with the Ratty, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. So that was the Roadrunners. And the standouts for Live Free Die Trying was, of course, 3 Letters, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Put It On My Tab, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. I guess not everyone showed up for the Live Free Die Trying team, but the guys that did show up did what they could. But like I said, man, experience beat youth this time. Live Free Die Trying. One thing I'm going to say about them is this. Hopefully, not hopefully. I know Day Day will be back next year, and I know he's going to put a team together that is going to be pretty serious, because this team was pretty serious, and they beat some guys during the year that would probably shock you. Like, they beat SUNYAC Select. I believe who else? They beat another really good team in their conference, but they beat some guys that had experience over them. So to see who Day Day brings back next year for the squad should be interesting. Hopefully he continues to bring Put It On My Tab, Mo Bamba, and 3 Letters, because those 3 right there, that's the core 3 that he can use to build around. So it's good to see that Day Day got a squad there, and he will bring them back next year. Hopefully we get to see them go further in the playoffs next year. So huge shout out to Live Free Die Trying. Make sure you tap in with Day Day. He got a great brand there with Live Free Die Trying. So check it out. Next game, Paisano's Pizza versus Chocolate Factory. As you all already know, Paisano's Pizza are the champions. We're pretty much recapping their road to success. But Paisano's Pizza versus Chocolate Factory was a mauling. But one thing I did want to point out, G Money's journey as a guard in this league, a first-year guard in this league. He went up against some dogs in the playoffs. First round, Chocolate Factory, right? All for one. A guy who doesn't bow down to anybody, a guy that anytime his team comes out to play, you're going to hear his name, right? So let's discuss the standouts for Paisano's Pizza. Major Money, of course. You guys already know what it is. 2019 MVP. 22 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Deli, another floor general that Paisano's Pizza has and was integral to their success. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. G Money did his thing, man. 14 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. Great defensive guard, great offensive guard, just a great guard, period. And then the standouts for Chocolate Factory, all for one. I said, anytime you hear Chocolate Factory, you're going to hear the name all for one all the time. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 0 calories, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. But what I was saying prior was that G Money's journey was not an easy one if you look at it from a guard perspective. He just first round all for 1. Granted, his team packed up Chocolate Factory by 30. I'm sure all for 1 wasn't making it easy for him. I'm pretty sure because I think that game was on the Facebook side, the local side, so I didn't really see that game. I only caught glimpses of it. And Paisano's Pizza was victorious. So that's just round 1. That's the first round. That's the round that's G Money's first round. The first round he had to deal with was a great guard and all for 1, right? So just remember that because I'm going to come back to that. Now we're going to get to round 2. Now, teams that had to buy the top 4 teams, which were High Optic, the Family, 48 Till, and Palisades Elite. They had a bye that first day, Monday. Now we're getting into Tuesday's games. The first game was the Family versus the Roadrunners. Of course, the Family was victorious by 8 points. They defeated the Roadrunners. The score was 82-74. The Family standouts were Ricky the Real, MVP candidate, 42 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. Another standout, the Illest, 13 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and of course the third standout for the Family was BA. The L's are silent, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. And for the standouts for Roadrunners, Slim Cooks, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, had a key basket to help his team go into overtime. And Patty with the Ratty, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. I believe he got a bloody nose or his nose got broken. I'm not sure. Anytime you play the Family, you're gonna get an intense game. You're gonna have to deal with a lot of aggression and intensity, and that's what I saw that game. One thing I did want to say was one person you didn't hear that you normally hear when we mentioned the Roadrunners was Russ Gilson. He had to check Ricky the Real, and you heard how many points Ricky the Real had. I'll repeat the stat line for you: 42 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. Russ Gilson had a long night, so I didn't expect him to be on the stat sheet like that, but not for him to be there at all is kind of shocking, but not really to hear what Ricky was doing. You know what I mean? I'm sure Russ Gilson is known for defense. So to see that, it's kind of ill. So huge shout out to the Roadrunners. I hope you guys come back next year, man. Bring some other guys. You know what the league consists of now. You know that the league has some college guys from Division 1 to 3, pros from all over. So bring your dogs next year so you can make a longer run. You made it to the second round. Hopefully you can make it to the finals for the chip next year. So huge shout out to the Roadrunners. The Family moves on, right? Game number 2. Shout out to Not On Duty, right? Huge shout out to Not On Duty. They played High Optic. High Optic coming off of an 8-game winning streak. Any team they put in front of them, they got out of here. They played Not On Duty during the season. I believe they only beat them by 2 points. So this was pretty much a statement game. This game right here was, all right, can Not On Duty beat this team? Or will High Optic prove their Northern Conference supremacy over Not On Duty? So score was 67-52, High Optic. Standouts for High Optic were, don't do that, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Left for Dead, who had an amazing game, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. And Mo Buckets, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. The standouts for Not On Duty, like I was saying, Romeo Chase, man, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Hopefully, Tibby keeps him on the team because he's a staple. K Bucks is a staple. Mike on Ice is a staple. And of course, Not Just Gets himself is a staple. So that's 4 guys. Biso as well. And Treyway Jose. I mean, Not On Duty has a squad. If I were to make a suggestion for Not On Duty, I would say see if you can get a big, 1 or 2 bigs that can pull up for you, because the only disadvantage you had this year was Biso and Romeo Chase are not the tallest bigs. If you can find you a big that can play the game to complement Biso and Romeo Chase with RJ coming off the bench, you guys could go far, man. Just think about it. That's just my suggestion. So shout out to Not On Duty making it to the second round on their first year. Salute to you guys. Can't wait to see what you do next year. Another great game that we had on Tuesday was Paisano's Pizza versus Palisades Elite. Well, I don't want to say two teams that people know. Well, one team people definitely know now, and another team that people did know. Palisades Elite franchise within the VOH basketball league, organization, whatever you want to call it. Paisano's Pizza, of course, current champions. But this game right here was only a 3-point game. Paisano's Pizza pulled it off. Score was 58-55. Standouts for Paisano's Pizza. Man, I'm going to keep talking about the money train. I'm going to keep talking about the money connection anytime you hear me bring up Paisano's Pizza. Major Money, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. G Money, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Deli, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal. PE standouts. Young Gunner, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. 40 Cap, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Now, let me get back to G Money's journey. Second round. Remember, first round, he went against All For One. Second round, he's going against the likes of 40 Cal and D Turbo. D Turbo being a Rookie of the Year candidate. Huge shout out to D Turbo. He had an amazing year. 40 Cal, savvy veteran, can give you 30-40 whenever he feels like it. And G Money went against that type of caliber and was successful. You heard his stat line: 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. And some of you, y'all just are like, 14 points ain't that serious. But if you watch the game or catch the replays that are available on this channel right now, VOH basketball, go back, listen to the games. You'll hear me calling the games. You'll see that he hit very key buckets for that team. Very key buckets. Whenever the team needed a basket and Major Money couldn't get it, G Money was the guy to get it. It's that simple. So, All For One, first round. Second round, 40 Cal and D Turbo. Right? Remember that, because we're going to get to the Finest Four in a minute. But the other game that went down, 48 Till versus SUNYAC Select. 48 Till was victorious, 73-59. I believe that's a 14-point joint. 14-point joint. 48 Till standouts. The Wiz, MVP candidate. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Brown bag Nav, always doing his thing. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Ape, 9 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Monster in the paint. The standouts for SUNYAC Select. I told you, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. And Drago, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. One thing I could say about that, 48 Till was too quick. Too quick for SUNYAC Select. I don't know if SUNYAC Select's intention was to run with 48 Till, which was not a good idea. 48 Till lives off the transition game. You have to slow them down. If you try to run with them, you're going to get beat. They just live off the transition game. That is their style of play. But all I saw was SUNYAC Select get outran, get blown by. 50-50 balls were always getting picked up by 48 Till. But one thing I can say is SUNYAC Select did not give up. They kept fighting till the end. So I have to give props when it's due. Huge shout out to SUNYAC Select. Hopefully you guys come back next year, man, because you shook up a lot of teams this year. A lot of teams were sleeping on you guys. And one thing I can say about I told you, you woke a lot of people up. A lot of people are paying attention to you now. So hopefully you come back for a 3-on-3 or something, and then you come back next summer with the group of guys that you know can really take you to the finest four or further. You know what I mean? I mean, first year you made it to the second round. Kudos for real. So huge shout out to Suniac Select and all those guys there. And then we're going to the finest four now. We're gonna get to the finest four. After we do the finest four recap, I'm gonna get into the awards, and then I'm gonna get into the championship recap after that. So the finest four. Let me tell you, both of these games were amazing. Please catch these games on this channel, VOH Basketball. They're available. I'm calling the games. It was a live stream. The replays are there. You won't be disappointed, right? The first finest four game was the Family versus 48-2. Regular season rematch. Family was victorious. It was a 3-point game. I believe the score was like 60-57. The Family was victorious by 1 point this time. Even lower scoring, 45-44. What did the Family do that other teams didn't do against 48-2? They slowed down the pace. So much so that they only scored 45 points, and 48-2 only scored 44. That is not like them. If you look at any of the games during the regular season that involved any of these teams, it was they probably scored this much points, 44 and 45 at halftime. So shout out to the Family, shout out to Recruiter Ream for adopting that strategy and getting the victory over 48-2. The standouts for the Family, Ricky the Real, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. The General. One thing about the General in that game, his stat line may not be crazy, but he hit a lot of key shots for the Family. He hit a lot of shots that they needed. 3-point shots, perimeter shots, made key defensive stops that they needed. So huge shout out to the General. The stat line for the General is 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. And the standouts for 48-2 was Brown Bagnav, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. And the Wiz, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. And like I said, the Family was victorious. Shout out to 48-2. I don't want to say they're a first-year team. Shout out to 48-2 Clothing. They sponsored the squad. This was Global Gym. Global Gym was the 2019 champion, so they knew what it took. Guys like another Curry and Walking Dead knew what it took, what type of guys they needed to bring to compete. So much so they made it to the finest four. 1 game away from going back to the chip. So I can't wait to see who they bring next year. I don't know if they're still going to be sponsored by 48-2. If I can give any advice on that situation, 48-2, continue to sponsor that team. Your name is getting out there. It's buzzing. So please be sure to do that if you are. But if not, I'm hearing some guys are trying to get teams back in Overlook Beats. If you're looking for a team to sponsor, this is the squad right here. But I'm sure 48-2 Clothing will continue to sponsor this talented team. And I can't wait to see who they bring back next year, man. Because this squad they had this year was pretty serious. And they made it pretty far. They made it to the finest four. They just ran into the Family, a team that knew how to beat them. And we'll see what happens to the Family in the next round and actually in the championship game. And can't wait to see what 48-2 or whoever they become next year does. Hopefully they make it to the chip. You know what I mean? They know how to win in this league. They've been here. They've done that. So next game of the finest four, Paisano's Pizza versus High Optic. Let me tell you something about this. When I put this game in the polls, everyone had Paisano's Pizza winning. The number 1 team overall who hadn't lost a game went into this game as the underdogs. That was crazy to me. Paisano's Pizza was probably 8-2 at the time on an 8-game winning streak, and High Optic was 9-0, 9-game winning streak. And the 9-0 team was the underdog to the 8-2 team. I was shocked. I never seen anything like that. But they were right. Paisano's Pizza came up victorious. Paisano's Pizza 79, High Optic 74. The Money Train. We're going to get back to G Money's journey in a minute. The Money Train. G Money. 29 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Major Money, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 3 of these. Let me tell you something about 3 of these, man. This brother stood out. When they needed a big shot in the second half, 3 of these found his 3-point shot, and man, oh man, did he find it. Shout out to 3 of these. He was a candidate for most improved player. He had a spectacular season. But this game right here, 3 of these really stepped it up when his guys needed him. And G Money. Wait, give me a second. We'll get back to you. And then, of course, the standouts for High Optic. Don't do that. Unconscious that first half. 33 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Wolverine, who tried his best against Major Money. 9 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. But Major Money knows how to get his buckets. It's that simple. But Wolverine did not make it easy. But let's get back to G Money's journey, right? We covered the first 2 rounds. First round, all for one. Second round, 40 cal and D Turbo. Third round, don't do that. Mo buckets, right? You heard don't do that. Drop 33, 7 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals. The only problem with that was he was the focus of the offense. Not saying that other guys didn't get their shots up, but I think he was so much on fire, his teammates ended up watching him and they started to lose their rhythm or never gain said rhythm. You know what I mean? Mo Buckets is an example. He couldn't find his shot that evening. You know what I mean? And that's not like Mo Buckets. Listen to his name, Mo Buckets. That's what he does. You know what I'm saying? But to see G Money go against the talent that he has been going through and being victorious. Granted, yes, this is a team game, but he had key moments for Paisano's Pizza because Paisano's Pizza wasn't leading this game this entire time. There were times where the points were 2-3 point leads from both sides, sometimes 6-7, then it comes back down because of runs, because basketball is a game of runs. If you listen to me call the games during the season, I say it all the time. Basketball is a game of runs. So a lot of those runs were led by G Money. As you heard, he had 29 points, 4 assists, 2 steals. You know what I mean? Easy points off of great defense. That's what he did a lot of. And he did some rebounding. He had 4 boards. He's not the biggest guy on the court, but he still got rebound. You know what I'm saying? And his team was victorious. You know what I'm saying? So he moves on to the finals. Right? Before we get into the finals, I want to announce the winners of the postseason awards. I got the graphics here. So let's get into it, man. Wait, before we do that, I want to say congrats to the champions again. Congrats to Paisano's Pizza. Follow them on Instagram. That's at Paisano's Pizza NY. And no, they didn't pay me to plug that. I just wanted to plug that. Shout out to them. They played amazing basketball. These guys play team basketball. They understand what movement was about. They pick and rolls, backdoor cuts. I mean, fundamental basketball. It's an easy game to play. You don't have to make it more complicated. Huge shout out to Paisano's Pizzas. Look at those smiles on their faces, man. And of course, you see G Money right behind the commissioner holding the trophy. He was the finals MVP. All right. He was the finals MVP. Might as well put his graphic up here first. Bam. Matter of fact, let me remove. No, you know what? I'm not going to remove that ticker because I want to call out his stats for that final game, and then I'll probably put this back up again. But look at the average for the playoffs for G Money. 19.5 points per game, 4.3 rebounds per game, 4.3 assists per game, 2.3 steals per game. Not saying guys didn't have better numbers, but his team won the championship. So I know it says finals MVP. I want to say it's a tournament finals MVP because If it wasn't for his spectacular performances during these games, during key moments of these games, like I'm telling you, like I was saying before, yeah, you see 14 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. You're like, that's not that serious. But if you watch those games, go back and watch those games. You'll see exactly why G Money is right there where he is. And you'll see exactly why Paisano's Pizza is where they are. Is where they are, because they played immaculate, so did G Money. You know what I mean? So shout out to G Money for being the tournament finals MVP. Let's get into Rookie of the Year. There was a lot of great candidates for Rookie of the Year, but there could only be one winner. Huge shout out to NAZ, 3 letters, nobody does it better, of Live Free, Die Trying. 17.8 points per game, 5.1 rebounds per game, 6.5 assists per game, 1.7 steals per game. As you heard me mention prior, Live Free, Die Trying, it was probably the youngest team in the entire league. You know what I'm saying? And this was their leader right here. 3 letters, no one does it better. This guy has a bright future. He came on to Never Tuck Your Town Radio when we were on the radio, and you know, he told us his story. He had an amazing story. He's about to go to a D1 school. I believe he played at St. Joe's, did his thing there. So huge shout out to 3 letters. No one does it better. Rookie of the Year. Can't wait to see. Hopefully he comes back next year with Live Free, Not Trying. Can't wait to see what they do next year. And I can't wait to see what he does at Cornell of this upcoming season. And of course, most improved player of the year. I thought this decision was hands down easy. Huge shout out to the Top Dogs. Huge shout out to Bloodsport of the Top Dogs. To me, I felt this decision was easy for me when it came down to it at the end of the day. Bloodsport, every game the Top Dogs were on the court, especially on the global side, or whenever I was able to take a peek on the local side, he was doing his thing. Like I know against the Bullies, I think he dropped like 40. Hit several threes. I think he had like 8 3-pointers. I don't think anyone tied the record this year for the most 3-pointers. I believe it's tied between Fresh Out and Mills Inc. of the family. So, and that's 11 3-pointers. But Bloodsport, man, 24.2 points per game, 6.6 rebounds per game, 4.2 assists per game, 1.4 steals per game. Come on, man. Like, to me, this was easy. There were great candidates there. But to me, like 3 of these was another great nominee. But to me, when you talk about most improved, I'm talking about someone that really wasn't on anyone's radar, and then really became, this guy we have to take serious. That's what I seen happen with Bloodsport this year. People knew about 3 of these. You know what I'm saying? Granted, this year 3 of these really, really solidified his name. But to me, I think Bloodsport put a hammer, a mallet, whatever you could think of down on his name. Now people know who Bloodsport is. People recognize, all right, when we play Top Dogs, we're gonna check out for 2 guys, and he's one of them. You know what I'm saying? Now to the next award. Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, there was a lot of guys lobbying for this, a lot of guys wanting to win this. The polls weren't being cooperative, so it had to be left up to the committee. Everyone was saying this person, that person. Shout out to both of them, number 15. He got a lot of love, a lot of votes because of the great defensive work he did during the season. And in their playoff game, he held a lot of guys down. But by committee, he didn't really stand out compared to the other nominees like OG Germ and other guys like that. Huge shout out to OG Germ. He was out there lobbying for the Defensive Player of the Year award. But brother, I am so sorry. I got somebody else that was a presence defensively no matter what. Anytime he came out, anytime he was on the floor, whether teams were asleep or awake. The Defensive Player of the Year goes to Shout out to the Top Dogs. You got two guys that won postseason awards, man. Too bad you guys couldn't make it to the playoffs, but huge shout out. Don't give up on what you're doing. Huge shout out to Jamisha, Top Dogs, Defensive Player of the Year, Drew Zingas, 15.8 points per game, 14.4 rebounds per game, 1.2 steals per game, 2.8 blocks per game. Huge shout out to Drew Zingas. I mean, it was a tough field to choose from. Like I was saying, both of them number 15 on Team Insatiable was up there. OG Germ was up there. But at the end of the day, you can't deny these numbers. You can't deny his presence in the paint. Huge shout out to Drew Zingas. Huge shout out to the Top Dogs. Hopefully they come back next year. And you guys re-up and reload, man. I can't wait to see what you guys do next year. And, of course, if you didn't know who the MVP was, huge shout out to all the nominees that were MVPs. But it was a tough decision, and we came to it by the people, by committee. Ricky, the real McGill of the family, regular season MVP, doing the damn thing. 27.4 points per game, 5.7 rebounds per game, 9.8 assists per game, 3.2 steals per game. Did his thing. Made it to the chip, which we're about to get into after this. And that's another chapter that we have to cover for this guy right here. Another chapter, because guess what? In this final chapter of the VOH Summer Madness Championship tourney novel for G Money was against none other than Ricky the Real, the regular season MVP, right? Regular season rematch, upset of the year. Hold on, wait a second. Let me give you another award. Game of the year. Game of the year. Shout out to the people for voting on that. That was the game of the year. The people, that was solely on the people. I let the people decide who was going to take that. They voted and they said this game right here, Paisano's Pizza defeating the family in the final week of VOH regular season play, 76-71, said this was the game of the year, and that's who took it. The score was 75, Paisano's Pizza, 67, the family. The standouts for Paisano's Pizza. The money train. That money train. G Money, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. We'll get back to G Money in a minute. Major Money, 14 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. 3 of these. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Right? For the family, their standouts. Ricky the Real, 37 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. The General, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. What more can I say about this game? To me, and huge shout out to my guy K-Boy, man. He pulled up, helped me call the game. We talked basketball, we talked strategy, we talked about G Money. Okay? K-Boy held G Money in very high regard. I held G Money in very high regard. The guy's a dog, man. But huge shout out to K-Boy. We called this game, and one thing that K-Boy noticed and I noticed was it was a repeat of the game prior, Paisano's game prior against High Optic. It was a lot of one-on-one basketball, not much ball movement on one side, and on the other side, you've seen backdoor cuts, pick and rolls, sets. I mean, timeouts being utilized. It was totally different, and against the family, it was the same exact thing. The family had their guy, Ricky the Real, going crazy, doing what he does, and of course the General doing what he do. But one thing we noticed was that it was tough. It was tough to see the family only focus on one guy. I mean, They had the Illest. They had EDR. They had Night Night. They had their guys there. Mills Inc. They had their guys there, but they didn't really do much. I don't know if that was Paisano's Pizza's strategy to get that one guy to go crazy and nobody else do anything, or if that's just the style of ball that many teams play in this league. And Paisano's Pizza was able to exploit that. I'm not sure. But back to G Money. Shout out to the commissioner. He's in the building. D2 All-American. This is the type of talent we have on VOH basketball, in particular the Summer Madness, VOH Unlimited. During the summer, we get a lot of guys that pull up. I know he played for Stack. I know he's a D2 All-American. And from what I'm understanding, from what I'm hearing, rumblings, I don't know. I can't give you my sources. Stack might be ending up being a D1 school soon. So, I mean, they got the talent. Don't get it twisted. So to see that he's a D2 All-American, not shocked. Not shocked. To see what he did on his journey. Me and you discussed it, Brett. All the guards that he ran through. I wanted to make sure I made this a talking point. I had to make sure I made this a talking point. Yes, I know. He's from South Carolina. Huge shout out to all the Geechies out there in South Carolina. But to see what he was able to do in this league, to see the guys that he went against. He went against All For One, who was a dog at point guard in Chocolate Factory. Then he went against 40 Cal and D Turbo in Palisades Elite. Then after that, he went against who was it after that? Don't Do That. Mo Buckets. And then after that, Ricky the Real, the MVP. Like, you're talking about guards that's made a name for themselves throughout the years in the league. And he ran through all of them his first year. And this is just the playoffs I'm discussing. I'm not even talking about the guards he might have went against during the regular season. I'm just talking about the playoffs, the 12 that stood out throughout the whole season and made it. And he went against the best of the best and stood out. So let me get that graphic back up for South Carolina's finest. Huge shout out to G Money, the tournament finals MVP. Let me show y'all that stat. Shout out to Brett Bronson with the info. But look at that. Look at the stats that he put up against those teams. And remember the guards that I pointed out that play for those teams. Best believe. One thing I can say now, G Money, forgive me, brother. I'm showing you a lot of love, but now you will have a target on your back. Just like Major Money did. Major Money had a target on his back after the 2019 season, but notice he wasn't fazed by it. He continued to ball out, and I'm sure you're the same way. You're not going to be fazed by it, but I just wanted to warn you. You will have a target on your back, brother. But look, man, against All For One and the Chocolate Factory, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. Against Palisades Elite with the likes of D Turbo, Young Gunner, and 40 Cal, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. High Optic, Don't Do That. Mo Buckets, 29 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals. And then against the family with the likes of the General, Boogeyman, Ricky the Real. BA didn't pull up that day. Those guys I mentioned were the ones that were there. You know what I'm saying? And he dropped 21 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals. The man was balling. The Paisano's Pizza team was balling as a unit. And they were victorious, man. I don't know what more I can say. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Once again, huge shout out to Paisano's Pizza, champions of VOH basketball. Like I was saying before, they played team basketball. They exploited a lot of teams. They showed a lot of teams how to play ball the right way. Hopefully some teams took heed to the way they were playing. Hopefully teams watch some footage. It's on the channel. Watch some footage. Learn how to beat this team so when you run into them next year, you ain't kicking and screaming at the refs. You know what I'm saying? Watch the game footage, man. But with that said, I'm getting out of here, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this show. It wasn't too long, wasn't too crazy. I got straight to the point. Let me get those rankings up there for y'all. Yeah. This is the last time you'll see the Blast Podcast rankings until September. Be on the lookout for the announcement for VOH Day. That should be coming soon. I'm trying to put together an episode for next week. I'm trying to get the CEO of Powerball on here next week, and I'm also seeing if I can get someone else on here. I'm trying to get 2 guests on here so we can continue to keep this Never Tuck Your Town TV vibe alive, and also hopefully get you an announcement on what is that, VOH Day, man. Hopefully we can get you something before that or whatever. And of course the 3-on-3s, and then of course the 35 and ups that's coming next month. So stay tuned, man. I'm getting out of here. I've been talking way too much. Truly appreciate y'all pulling up. Let me give y'all one quick rundown of the winners. Rookie of the Year, shout out to 3 letters. Most Improved, shout out to Bloodsport. Defensive Player of the Year, shout out to Drew Zingis. MVP, shout out to Ricky the Real. Tournament and Finals MVP, G Money of Paisanos Pizza. Game of the Year, Paisanos Pizza versus the Family. Hey guys, guess what? You could actually go watch this game. It's available on the channel right now. Check it out. I had a blast, pun intended, calling the game. So please be sure to check it out, man. One last look at the brackets. Shout out to Paisanos Pizza to be playing from the first round on. No bye for them, no rest. They played all 4 games and won the championship. You guys got to put some respect on their name, man. Put some respect on Paisanos Pizza's name. I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to pay some bills. And that'll be the end of the stream, man. I truly appreciate y'all. If you're brand new, please be sure to like the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the post notifications. Like the video. I'm Brother DSP, as you can see, of the Blast Podcast. Please be sure to follow me on Instagram. Follow everybody on Instagram. Hold up. Follow all of us. See that on the bottom right there? Show us love. We do this for you. This is 100% independent. You know what I mean? VOH Basketball doesn't get no big check from no big sneaker company. We do all our own media. I'm the media guy. Everything about me is 100%. Viacom doesn't own me. Nobody owns me. Jerseys, you see it. You see the brand. You see it. Do more apparel. It's independent. These guys do the uniforms. Everything is independent, man. Show us support, man. We do it for you. You know what I'm saying? We do it for you. Appreciate that, Kamish. This is just the first installment, man. You know this is only gonna get better. You know the vibes. You already know. But I'm about to get out of here. Pay these bills. Truly appreciate y'all watching. This is the very first installment. It's only gonna get better. Peace.
You have the desire to be more? Then More Apparel is the apparel company for you. We believe that more comfort, more quality, and more passion will inspire you to do more for yourself, for your family, and most importantly, your community. Visit our website at www.morapparelus.com to get active today. And remember, it's MOR. Leave off the E for excuses.
Welcome to the Blast Podcast, created and hosted by your friendly neighborhood media personality, me, DSP. I am the voice of Rockland County, New York's art culture, and this platform is the epicenter of said culture. I sit down with many artists, producers, entrepreneurs, among other creatives, and get them to open up to our listeners so they get to know them better. If I'm not doing that, I'm covering current events and reacting to them. Once again, welcome to your new favorite podcast, the Blast Podcast. The Last Life Gaming Network is an over-the-top platform catering to the gamer, with hours of content at your disposal upon launch date. The LLGN will provide you with top-notch entertainment in the gaming world, with original shows such as Collections, Co-op Interview, and GUI Gaming Under the Influence, as well as highlights of Twitch and Mixer live streams. The network will have you chomping at the bits for content. Add on a live stream schedule and streams that will be interactive. There will be countless reasons for you, the viewer, to be invested in.